In this video, I'm gonna be telling you about 5 unexpected things that you need to go through to transform your life when you go on semen retention. The number one thing that we have to address before we start this is what is actual semen retention, because there's a lot of definitions of it. Now, semen retention isn't just to hold out. We're not doing this just to hold out. We're doing this to transmute our energy to our desires, our dreams, and our goals and our aspirations. This is what retention is. We are using the retention to accelerate our manifestations of our goals and desires. This is what we're doing. Number one thing is heightened emotional sensitivity. This means that usually when you go on something like retention, you are going to feel deeper emotions. You might start to realize if you're becoming a little bit soft, but this is just your body adjusting to the new normal. You're feeling a bit soft because a lot of the different things that are happening, it might even be something small, something that someone else might say. You're feeling these on a deeper level because you just have way more energy in you. So you feel these harder. Probably sense some people, the intentions of other people as well too. So your emotional state, and this is actually a good thing, because if you're combining this with physical activity and meditation, you start to realize that a lot of the things that maybe happened in the past, they might come to your present. You might even start crying out of nowhere because of the emotion is just getting too much for you. This is what you have to start to realize. So this will happen to you when you've gone on a retention. When you're retaining, you're going to have heightened emotional senses. You're going to be just very sensitive to some of these emotions. The number two thing is your change in relationships. You're going to have deeper relationships with people. You start to realize you might be able to start expressing yourself a bit more. If you're usually someone who doesn't really express himself, more likely than not, when you've been retaining, you're going to start expressing yourself. And this is a very good thing. And because you're expressing yourself, it's easier for people to connect with you. It's all about expressing yourself. Say exactly how you really feel. People are going to start to see you in a different light because you're actually showing exactly how you feel. The bottom line is a lot of people just don't know how they feel. They might feel something, but they're super passive aggressive, and because they're passive aggressive, they're not getting the authenticity reciprocated to them back. So you're going to be shallow. If you're shallow, expect other people to shallow. If you don't reach out to people, expect other people not to reach out. You are going to have a deeper sense of relationships because you can finally talk about how you actually feel, and people will resonate with this. I promise you, this is the truth. I was speaking to someone recently, and we were just talking about all the experiences that we've gone through in our lives, and it was a very deep connection. You do realize the type of people that you have a deeper sense of connection with, and it's not really shallow, but it's more like deeper sense. These are the people you are going to have way more meaningful relationships with. Just keep that in mind. Number 3 is heightened awareness and focus. You are going to be way more aware, and you're going to be laser focused. Number one thing is being laser focused. You will be way more focused on retention. You are locked in laser. I had some people talk to me, and they were just saying, "Oh, it just seems like we can't get you off your swivel. It just seems like you're just super locked in all the time." And this is what happens when you retain. When you retain, the reason why this happens is because now that you're retaining, this extra energy has to go somewhere, and if you decide to focus on your goals, you're going to have this extra locked in sense thing about you. And now you're going to be way more locked in your day in and day out. Everything you're going to do is just super intentional. How you wake up, how you go to sleep, very intentional. You start compounding these days, you will be a complete savage in the next 90 days. If you lock in and are super intentional with your day-to-day, you will be a totally different person. The bottom line is intentionality. The more intentional you become, you'll start to like the results that you're getting because you're actually doing things that are garnering a result. So focus and heightened awareness. The number 4 thing is physical discomfort, maybe even headaches. Your body's adjusting to the new normal. This is what it really means. Your body is adjusting to the new normal. And because your body's adjusting physically in discomfort, and you might start having a lot more headaches because your body's adjusting. Keep this is totally normal. You probably might also wake up in the middle of the night, and you might check your phone, and you might see the phone, and it has the same repeated numbers. Don't take too much into account into this, but just means that everything is fine. Everything is totally fine. Realize this. You're gonna have physical discomfort because you're just becoming a new person Your body's getting used to this, and this is what happens. An example that I can put this is if you use minoxidil like on your hair and stuff. At first, you're gonna see you're gonna be balding more, but as you keep using it, it's going to come back better. It's gonna build back better. There has to be some sort of part where it doesn't seem like it's happening, and then eventually it's going to happen for you. Last thing is a sense of purpose. You're just gonna have a super sense of purpose. You start to realize that transition from just like trying to survive to having impact in your life. Impact is super important now, because now you start to realize that you're connected to nature, and because you're connected, you're going to start to realize that what more can you do to impact your next man. This is when you start vibrating at a different set of quote-unquote consciousness. It means that the way that you're living is a bit different. You're not living like the next person. You're not really just trying to get by, trying to accomplish what you have for today. You have a bigger picture in mind. This is why a lot of frivolous activities, vices, drinking, things like that, it doesn't really resonate to the core of you. It does not resonate to you, because you start to realize there's more to life. There's more things that we can be doing. We can definitely get way ahead, and we can impact way more people, and we can pretty wonderful things. But you start to look around at your fellow person, and all you see them just doing the same thing that they were doing 10 years ago, and you start to wonder why. You start to realize, are you the only one who thinks like this? And the bottom line is, you're actually not the only one who thinks like this. You're just surrounded by people who aren't resonating with you. So this is what you have to do. You have to get into a new circle. You have to get into a circle where their goals are their fun. Hitting their goals, hitting new strides, hitting new revenue marks. That's the fun. So you start to realize there's a misalignment with some of the people that you used to hang out with, because you don't really have that much in common that you really thought you did. This is the bottom line. This is the hard truth that we all have to swallow. Once you evolve, there has to be a season of separation. You have to separate yourself, because you are becoming a new person. It's like a caterpillar who's shedding into becoming a butterfly. It's going to look ugly for the process, but when the process is done, no one is going to recognize them. And this is what you have to keep in mind. With that being said, if you are a guy who resonates with some of these things, and it looks like you want to transition to the new area of your life where you're becoming your best version, you're no longer, you don't want to hang out with your loser friends. You want to start actually becoming the best version of yourself, so you can actually have something to look back on and be proud of. Make sure you book a call with me down below. I am helping a few guys transform to their best selves, working with me one-on-one. Hit that like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you in the next one.